let's start part 3 of this unofficial series. I decided on part 2 that I would stop labeling it part 1, part 2, part 3, and all of that, just because, these videos are loosely connected and they're all about the same topic, but you don't actually have to watch them in order or have to watch previous videos to get the full meaning of what I'm talking about within any given video. So with that in mind, I'd like to get right into it. We're gonna go, this is gonna be pretty different. This is definitely gonna be different because we're gonna incorporate some quantum principles and properties into this discussion. And this discussion, of course, is still reflecting on the power within the present moment. So within the present moment, there's some interesting properties and effects. The past 2 videos really thoroughly established why and how to focus on the present moment. But this video is really going to be diving deeper into the present moment itself, especially in relation to the past and the future. So it's a very time-oriented perspective. I'm really going to give you a deeper foundational understanding on how I see the present moment and what it means to truly be present. Because a lot of people talk about these things and it can just seem a bit abstract, a lot of the ways that people present, unintentional, present being present. But I think I can provide a very nuanced and somewhat mechanical, subjective exposition on this topic. So I use those words very carefully. Mechanical in the sense that I can explain the inner mechanisms and intricacies of how this whole clockwork thing fits together. I use the word clockwork because it's very time oriented. Perspective, past, present, future. I mean, these things, everything that we're talking about is fundamentally time oriented. So, within the present moment, establishing what the present actually is relatively straightforward. But at the same time, it is a bit, it's both abstract and well-defined at the same time. So I'm going to give you more of the well-defined part, and then we'll kind of work our way towards the more abstract. Oh, there's a cop right there. We're going to slow down. I get excited talking about these topics, but I'm not trying to get a speeding ticket. Okay. No flashing lights behind me. I think we're good. All right. So focusing on the present moment. It's kind of ironic given that I'm simultaneously trying to drive and make this video, but I think I can manage it. So the present is more mechanistically defined as now. That is the simplest, most clear, concise definition I could give, but I don't think that's going to be helpful to most people. Taking that one step further as we build towards the more abstract is adding a question to that statement of now. So the present moment demands answers. So why now? What now? How now? That's kind of where I'm going with this. So as soon as you ask, these questions are as boiled down to their essential nature so that we can really get down to the most essential underpinnings of what it is that's being discussed. So you're in the present moment because you ask a question about the present moment. This is one particular path to being present, mechanistically explained and understood. in reality, this is much more fluid, intuitive, subjective, and dynamic. But for the sake of this video, I'm framing things within the context of easily understood concepts that can universally be applied and can universally be integrated into whatever sort of subjective experience that you particularly have. So right now, I'm in the present moment. Let me just work through this exercise with you in real time. So I'm driving. I can say, why? Now. Now being the present moment. Why being the anchor grounding me, my mind, to the present moment. So why now? Well, to know why, I have to ask what? What am I asking why about? So that is kind of the path that things take towards higher levels of abstraction. I hope that everyone's following me. I try and be extremely clear, and I know that we're covering some topics that could be, this is like very metaphysical, and this is my own subjective understanding, so that's why I'm walking through this in such granular detail. But please let me know if you guys would like to hear things, more loosely defined and just have me like go rapid fire, or if this level of detail is actually serving you guys, because it's really about your own understanding and your own experience. So anyway, with that defined, it's kind of just a series of questions framed within the present moment is one way that we can understand now. Asking yourself questions. And the reason why asking questions is so fundamental is because questions are propagating from one's own subjective experience. I talk about subjective and objective a lot because without taking into account the subjective and objective, there's no way for me to properly convey the deepest essences of what it is that I'm really talking about. Because ultimately, we all interpret language within the context of our own subjective narrative. And without taking that into account, we really do ourselves a disservice. So, within your own subjective experience, right now, okay, so you can translate that as right present. The simplest way I can boil it down. Right now, what are you thinking about? How are you thinking about it? You can reverse those two. How are you thinking at all? And then what are you thinking about how you are thinking? So that's kind of more the abstract. You can really interpret these fundamental questions in any way that suits you. But this is a very powerful way to do systematic introspection based on the present moment. So this trims away all of the concerns of what could be in the future and what was, and is fully grounded within the present moment. I feel like that's a disclaimer that needs to be mentioned because, yeah, it's fairly abstract, so I could see how you might get carried into the past or the future. But framing everything within the context of the present moment is what is so powerful. So, now that I've established all of that groundwork, I'll touch on something that I mentioned in one of the earlier videos now. And this is really what all of this builds to. The future, as well as the past, are predetermined. Why is that important? And how does everything that I'm talking about build to that? That is so important because people get things inverted. And what I mean by that is sometimes people can somehow get a sense that their life is on a set trajectory and that there's nothing that they can do to change it. And on one hand, that's true, and on the other hand, that's false. And the reason it's part true and part false is because it depends on your perspective. If you are living your life from the past or the future, it's true. It is true that there's nothing that you can do to better your circumstances if you are grounded only or primarily in the future or in the past. Why? Why is this the case? Because if you've already determined the outcome, then everything, every action, subjective and objective, conscious and subconscious, is going to be working towards a predetermined goal. So whether or not this is like the exact outcome that was within your mind coming to pass, the fact remains that if you are fully embodied within the future or the past, that what you're thinking about is what you're going to experience in the present. So it's predetermined for the present moment. So the future and past are contextualized within the present and vice versa. So that's what gives you these strange effects. And I know this is like, I want to go a lot deeper into this, but I don't know how deep really I should continue on this topic alone. I could get more into like the practicalities of it. I tried to start with something that I thought was really, a really simple way to demonstrably validate the power of introspection and inquiry within the present moment, recontextualizing that by integrating the other concepts that have been established. But if that's not the case, please let me know. I'm always looking for feedback. I really enjoy these topics. I'm trying to keep these a shorter form factor too. But yeah, I'm definitely open to doing longer form content. So yeah, you guys just let me know. I do all of these with one take. You can probably tell because of the mistakes here and there and, just commentary. I just want to keep it really holistic, really grounded and down to earth, and just chat with you guys. I'm looking forward to building a community. I'm really looking forward to hearing the feedback that anyone has on any aspect of this. So yeah, just let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.